the late Robson Manika, all these people were trained in Russia for a simple reason that go and fight against colonialism. Colonialism has a problem because it then sits in the minds of other comrades. They are now, it's neo-colonialism. It's part and parcel of their minds. And whatever you do, they don't believe that they are liberated. They don't even see the value of liberation because of neo-colonialism. And these are mentions of an element where people who don't believe in themselves. If there's anything that Russia has done, is to assist Zimbabwe so that the sanctions, the sanctions that were initially proposed by the British via United Nations were turned down. The current sanctions were issued outside the United Nations. That's why they are illegal. They are issued outside any UN convention. They are issued out of a race that they are white people. We must collaborate. But there was a book I read, it was written by one of the King and Mau fighters. He says, one morning he met a guy who was laughing in the road. He asked, what's wrong? He said, today I had a dream. Today I had a dream, and I dreamed I was a white person. So some of us, when they debate from a background of having a dream one day when they were white, and they remain black, and they remain Africans, they remain Zimbabweans, they remain oppressed by the same sanctions. Sanctions are not selective. They don't look at Mudariba or they look at this one. No, they affect the economy of Zimbabwe. So we want to thank Russia for supporting us when Britain wanted to impose sanctions on us. The issue of Russian youth, we were there on a cultural exchange program. The Russian Komsomol begins with youth at secondary school level. They are taught to understand who they are, and what they represent. I take an example, Honorable Speaker. India was colonized by the British for 400 years. We were colonized by the British for 100 years. But when you go to India, you'll never see any Indian with a British name. It is in Zimbabwe where we clamor to have, when I wanted to be baptized in one of the churches, which I can't mention, they wanted me to change my name. They said, Sibanota, no, it's not a European name. When you die, go far, So all this is part of colonization because the Christianity that came to Zimbabwe, the Christianity that came to Africa came via the London Missionary Society. The London Missionary Society was a front of Sister John Rhodes, which looked into how do you colonize the people. And when we were colonized by the British, they were again some sellouts who collaborated with the British so that the war can be defeated. Even during the times of slave trade, there were some collaborators who collaborated with the British who came here to buy slaves. They organized armies to capture. So sellouts will remain there. Even the time of Patrice Lumumba, he put up a nice battle to defeat Belgium, but sellouts, Moise Chombe, joined him to disturb the revolution of Democratic Republic of Congo. And until today, the selling out of Moise Chombe is hounding the people of Congo. So sellouts remains there in Africa, they will remain part of us. But it is our role to pray for these sellouts that they see one day they must see the light. Then the issue of bilateral agreements. There are 18 bilateral agreements which have been signed. It is important, Mr. Speaker, that the Committee on Federal Affairs look at these bilateral agreements and then create a system where we can implement, because I understand some of the bilateral agreements have to deal with the development of our agriculture. How do we mechanize our agriculture? We must move away from everybody. We must be a modern agricultural economy that uses tractors and everything and move forward. The mining sector, Zimbabwe has the largest deposits of different minerals. The problem we have is we always believe, Mr. Speaker, that foreigners must come here and help us. It is our problem. No, it is our problem here. We pass bilateral agreements of Belarus tractor. Not even one of us has been tractor. You will think as if we are not part of the whole thing. So we must be participants in any economy. We must not be spectators. It is important that the attitude of being spectators move out of our minds. So the mining sector needs our support. We also, the transfer of technology. Technology transfer from these developed countries is very, very critical. And that is why you see Russia, where it is, if we cooperate with Russia, they will transfer certain technologies that are appropriate to our people, and then we move forward. Mr. Speaker, sir, in conclusion, I want to thank the Speaker, Honorable Jacob Mdenda, for the speech he presented in the Duma. It was a well-detailed speech. It had a lot of in-depth, but the only unfortunate thing is, I think in the future, when this type of events are happening, we need to get into some CDs. They can be put on our phones, where the speaker is addressing the Duma. The publicity side of our activities as Parliament must be enhanced. All honorable members must have the speech of the honorable speaker. Once he delivers it there, it must straight out go onto our phones. We are, you can see we are IT compliant. It's unfortunate some of these young guys are BBC, they are brought before computers, so they don't really value the issue of IT. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you very much for allowing me to contribute in this very important debate. Thank you.
Yes, you are.
Zimbabwe
refugees keep on visiting Russia, the national foreign currency as people come and see what the Lord has bestowed upon our land. I also want to mention that as we focus further and put the ideas together that have been brought in this house, which I believe that if we put them to practice, Zimbabwe will never be the same again. All Zimbabweans must learn to love their country. We must be patriotic. This is the only country that will know ours. I was listening to some other honorable members as they were debating, and they were talking about political factors affecting Russia, the war in Russia. I just want you to understand that the war that is going on between Russia and Ukraine is historical. And anyone that wants to study history will see that this has nothing to do with the Zimbabwe, but we must also make sure that we don't forget yesterday because of what we are today. You must understand that in order for us to gain our liberation, to win our liberation, it was because of our big brother Russia, who supported us with weapons, who supported us with training the current sons of Zimbabwe. Some are still living and some are already dead. So that relationship, we must always treasure it and keep it as important as possible. It is also important for me to note the fact that when we encourage our young people to go for the national service, we are not trying to brainwash the young people, but we are trying to hand over to them the history of this country, how we became Zimbabwe, and how it was before. It is also important that we teach them to love themselves and to love their country. We also teach them how they will develop their country economically, how they can work very hard so that they can become prosperous business people, how they can also study how Zimbabwe was liberated and the heroes that perished in order for us to enjoy who we
Mr. Speaker said, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity, to thank honorable members who have contributed to this very important report. The second of the motion, Honorable Masoka, Honorable Mateo, Honorable Luna, Honorable Uswa, Honorable Director, Honorable Nyat, the report the more richer than it was before. And in saying so, the speaker said, I would like to move for adoption of the report.
There is a process of adoption of the report. I put the question that the motion be adopted. Those who are that opinion will say aye. Aye. Those of the contrary opinion will say no. No. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The question is according to them, and the motion is adopted.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the House debate order number 18.
Number 18. There is a comment?
I second.
An objection? Okay. Notice of motion number 18, Honorable Shamu.
Advise Mr. Speaker said the motion is standing in my name.
Thank you very much.
I second Honorable Speaker said.
Thank you very much. Honorable Shamu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker said. The report is in tandem with the Parliament's oversight function, where the Committee on Foreign Affairs and International Trade analyzes all the budgetary performance. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker said, I rise to present the report of the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Foreign Affairs and International Trade. And Mr. Speaker says the report is in tandem with the Parliament oversight function. Mr. Speaker said the Committee on Foreign Affairs and International Trade analyzed the 4 quarterly budget performance reports for the year 2021 from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Trade with technical assistance from the Parliament Budget Office. The committee here, Mr. Speaker, said sought clarity from the Ministry on a myriad of issues that were responded to through oral evidence sessions and written submissions. Mr. Speaker said we found that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Trade had its vision and mission statements, all of them being put out on using the modern methods of communication through e-government. E-government is driving the ministry positively. The majority of the documents that the committee was shown and were able to analyze clearly showed us that the portfolio committee had indeed complied. The e-government drive here was clearly outlined in their foreign policy, in the service for consular and electronic visa applications, the Zimbabwe Trade Policy Vision 2030, and also the list of ratified beacons. All these were taken on board. The ministry, Mr. Speaker, said also clearly defined its result areas, which are improved international relations, informed nation and international community, improved diaspora participation in national development, improved aim from trade in goods and services, improved exports of services, and enhanced ease of doing business. Now these, Mr. Speaker said, were the key result areas of the ministry. Now it is of paramount importance, Mr. Speaker said, to note that for the 2 budget years, that is 2020 and 2021. We are saying this, Mr. Speaker, say, aware that we are all concentrating now looking at 2023. And we feel that some of our findings should be ventilated. Mr. Speaker said, the ministry managed to get an average actual disbursement of 57% of the total allocation for each year from the Treasury. The resultant variance was around 42%. Now, in light of the foregoing, the committee was deeply concerned, Mr. Speaker said, by the humongous amount of money that was not released by Treasury, which had a negative impact on the ministry's attainment of its intended targets for the years that were under review. And our fear, our hope, our concern is that this should not be repeated in 2023. Mr. Speaker said the committee also noted that though Treasury disbursed 90% of targeted budget of the ministry for the second half of the year, that is July to December 2021, the damage had already been done in the first half of the year in terms of using the set targets for that year. This, Mr. Speaker, say emanates from the fact that all the activities and programs that the ministry could not execute in the first half of the year were carried forward in the last half of the year, which was underfunded by 10% of the targeted budget. Also, Mr. Speaker said, inflation took its toll on the disbursed fund, resulting in the erosion of value or buying power of local currency due to exchange rate fluctuation. Mr. Speaker said, we also want to add on to the fact that the ministry plans to rehabilitate 4 Zimbabwe foreign missions, namely Bengal, Geneva, Paris, Cameroon, as well as to purchase 3 new chancelleries and 3 official residences in Ankara, Kigali, and Abu Dhabi. It also wanted to procure, furnish, and equipment in Victoria, Maputo, Windhoek, and Washington. However, due to delays in the release of funds as well as non-disbursement of a huge chunk of the ministry's total budget allocation, this was going to touch in 2021. And went into 2022, we raised these issues again, Mr. Speaker said. And we are really concerned that we do fear that we will continue to sing the same song in 2023. Mr. Speaker said in its fourth quarter submission, the ministry reported that the renovations were work in progress at embassy in Nairobi, Maputo, and Windhoek. And so if this work is progress, we must make sure that the money is also made available in 2023. Bearing in mind, Mr. Speaker said that our embassies are at the epicenter of the engagement and the re-engagement exercise, a bedrock for attracting more foreign direct investment and diaspora investments. The committee observed that there was a need, Mr. Speaker said, for Treasury to fully release the budget allocated for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, so that the ministry can expedite the refurbishment and construction of chancellors that befit the office of our ambassador. Mr. Speaker said, I will not read the whole report, Mr. Speaker said, due obviously to time, but I will just touch on some of the major issues that I feel I should reflect. The diaspora community, Mr. Speaker said, showed its eagerness to support the homeland, which is Zimbabwe, by remitting through formal channels large sums of money. We had $1.430 billion that they brought into the country. And in 2020, remittances were valued at $1 billion. Now, this to us, Mr. Speaker, is an important aspect of the role that the embassy and the ambassador play. And therefore, they need to be given support. But we are of very worried, Mr. Speaker said, that from the discussion that we've had so far, we are not seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And we hope that this report will help to further enhance our request for the Ministry of Finance to consider the budgetary allocation for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Trade seriously. Because the ministry has a very important role to play as it represents the country. Now let me go on to the committee's recommendations. We are saying, Mr. Speaker, that during the 2023 national budget, the Minister of Finance and Economic Development should set aside a United States dollar budget for foreign missions, so as to enable the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade to purchase the 31 vehicles, 3 chancelleries and 3 official residences in Ankara, Kigali, and Abu Dhabi, which could not be procured in 2021 and 2022 due to inadequate funding. Secondly, Mr. Speaker said, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade should ensure that each of the committee is fully functional, as well as the risk management policy and the disaster recovery plan, to ensure that it accounts for everything that happened in the ministry. And finally, Mr. Speaker said, as part of the capital budget, the Minister of Finance and Economic Development, the Bank of Zimbabwe, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade must ensure that from now to 2025, the national budget set aside the funds to be able to procure, Mr. Speaker said, or construct at least 3 properties for our diplomatic missions abroad annually, so as to reduce the rental cost. The The National Development Strategy 1, Mr. Speaker, says provides for the need for acceleration of the rationalization and the streamlining of diplomatic missions. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Trade should come up with a comprehensive strategy for the rationalization exercise, and we do hope that they will have that ready before the end of this year. Now, in light of what I've just said, Mr. Speaker, the committee is evident that with a robust oversight of the executive, prudent utilization of public resources can be realized, paving way for the attainment of an upper middle income economy by 2030. This, Mr. Speaker, has been witnessed in the reporting submission of the Ministry of Financial Performance report. It is therefore imperative that the release of budgeted resources be made transparent and predictable, so that meaningful outputs and outcomes can be realized. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. The question before now is that this House considers the report of the Portfolio Committee on Foreign Affairs and International Affairs on the first, second, third, and fourth quarter budget performance reports from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Affairs for the year 2021. SC 23-2020. Is there any debate?
Mr. Speaker said, I move that the debate is
Second. It has been moved that this debate be now adjourned. Is there any debate?
No debate.
I put the question that the debate be now adjourned. Those who are that opinion will say aye. Aye. Those of the contrary opinion will say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it. The question is according to the debate is adjourned. What
I second.
The clerk will read the report of the day.
Adjourn debate on motion on second reading of the Institute of Loss Control and Private Sector Managers for 2022.
While this debate was adjourned on 13th October 2020.
Your microphone, speak.
Thank you. While this debate was adjourned on the 13th October 2022, the question before the House was a motion by Honorable O'Neill that is the Institute of Loss Control and Private Security Managers Review, HB 5/2022, being now raised the second time. Is there any further
A. Facilitates public involvement in its legislative and other processes, and in the process of this committee, and B. Ensure that interested parties are consulted about bills being considered by Parliament, unless such consultation is inappropriate and impracticable. The committee took into account the technical nature of the bill and decided to adopt a targeted approach in conducting the consultation. Thus, this, the report is a summary of the comments on the context and relevance of the bill made by the affected practitioners in the loss control and private security management profession. On methodology, Mr. Speaker said, the committee held a meeting with Honorable Dr. Mulire, who unpaired the provisions and general contents of the bill. Practitioners in the bill, in the loss control and private security management field, were also invited to a targeted public consultation to submit their contributions in writing or make oral presentations before the committee. The following corporates sent representatives to attend the public consultation. 1. The banking sector, which sent the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, Legal Association of Zimbabwe, and EcoBank and Stanbic Bank. Telecommunications, there was Tel 1, Net 1, and Econet. Mining, we had Fidelity Gold Refineries, Mimosa, Wange Colliery, and academia. There was University of Zimbabwe and Vidula University of Science and Education. Other government institutions or other sectors were the Zimbabwe Revenue Authority, were the Zimbabwe National Parks and Wildlife, National Social Security Association, Rail Marketing Board, Zimbabwe Electricity Supply Authority, Central Mechanical Equipment Department, CMED, and private security consulting. Is Outwing Security, RAM Security, Zero Crime Tolerance Security. The Speaker said, I'll go to the committee findings. Unpacking of the bill. Honorable Colonel retired Dr. Moire opened that currently there was no legislation that directly dealt with the professional conduct of our personnel employed in the field of loss control and private security management. Unlike other professions such as engineering and accounting, occupations in loss control and private security were not recognized as such in the country. He said the need for an institute for such fields of work could go a long way in professionalizing the private security industry and would ensure that prospective employers got value for their choices of employees. The proposed law sought mainly to provide for the establishment of the Institute of Chartered Loss Control and Private Security Management Council. It provides minimum professional qualifications for admission of members and develop standards, guidelines, best practices, and a code of conduct to be observed by members. While membership would be voluntary, he said, such membership has several advantages in terms of performance and conduct of accredited members versus unregistered personnel. He went on to clarify that the law would not regulate how private security organizations operate. Rather, it would focus on individual employees who would have registered as members of the institute. Responding to the committee's concern over the apportionment of private security companies in the country vis-à-vis state security, Honorable Dr. Moire suggested that a separate law that would regulate specific operational activities and expectations of private security companies would need to be enacted in order to deal with that. He highlighted that the private security industry had the potential of becoming a threat to national security in the absence of a robust regulatory framework. The personnel in the private industry is outnumbered state security, and there is more sophisticated equipment and technology in that sector. He therefore called for an expeditious review and possible amendment of the current Private Investigation and Security Guards Control Act, Chapter 27.10, so that it goes beyond licensing but also regulate even the operations and extent of training on private security. On submissions in support of the bill, Mr. Speaker said, the generality of participants applauded and supported the bill on its objective to introduce professionalism in the conduct of loss control and private security management. They acknowledged the rationale for the need to ensure that practitioners in the aforesaid industry are formally registered to reduce and subsequently eliminate incompetence in this very critical field in the corporate world. They asserted that the establishment of a professional council, like in many other professions, would guarantee credibility to the profession and boost the confidence of both employers, and employees engaged in loss control and private security management. They purported that membership to an established council bring uniformity and security to practitioners as their conduct in the field of work could be guided by a common set of standards benchmarked against international best practices. On areas of concern, Mr. Speaker said, areas of concern in the bill. The concern was raised against the title of the bill, and some of these clauses as follows. On the short title of the bill, the Bankers Association of Zimbabwe raised concern on the title of the bill, which they felt seemed to be targeting a small group of loss control and private security professionals trained by a specific professional board or institution, and leaving out those who were trained through other institutions like Bidura State University, National University of Science and Technology, and others. They argued that it was very selective in its application, since it seemed to exclude many key practitioners in the loss control and private security industry. They therefore recommended that it should allow every interested but eligible practitioner to qualify for registration, irrespective of the curriculum under which he or she earned the qualification that he or she may possess. It was proposed that the title of the bill should read Institute of Chartered Loss Control and Private Security Management. On clause 9, Mr. Speaker said, there's no clause giving effect to the creation of quality review board cited in clause 9M and N. It was observed that the bill includes training as part of the functions of the institute, and they felt this aspect should be left to universities and colleges, and hence must be removed from the list of functions of the council. It was further argued that by being a training institution, the council will become both a player and a regulator should the bill become a law. On clause 17, Mr. Speaker said, the code of conduct must have a legal binding force and not merely a booklet. So a sub-clause should be intended to provide for what constitutes the disqualification of a member, resulting in deregistration of that member based on the code of conduct. It was further highlighted that currently there is no professional legislative framework providing for the registration of all professional loss control and private security practitioners. Hence, they felt that the bill should have a public perspective and rather a private perspective. Participants felt that there was need for wide consultation before the bill was drafted, and awareness campaigns so as to make people contextualize the content, objective, and the principles behind the bill. Participants felt that the bill should spell out that the making of regulations by the minister should be through a sexual instrument rather than to be silent on how they will be made and affected and effected. Members of the academia argued that paragraph 21, subsection 1, sounded more of retaliatory than condition setting, hence should be removed. I'll move on, Mr. Speaker, to the committee's observation. The committee made the following observations. There is need to incorporate sub-clause under clause 9 to give effect to the creation of a quality review board, cited in sub-clause M and N of the same clause. it is necessary to outline the conditions and procedure for deregistration and qualification or disqualification of a registered member. If this is to be provided through regulations, the Act must clearly provide for that. The absence of a clause providing for the making of regulations through a special instrument by the Minister and after consultation with the Council leaves a gap in the application of the proposed law. The Committee noted that some members who attended the consultation did not possess professional loss control and private security management qualifications. Hence, they may not qualify as members of this should the bill become law. The Committee observed that there was actual understanding of the difference between a private bill and a public bill. It came out clear that participants appreciated the need to professionalize the loss control and private security management. Hence, there is call for a public professional regulatory framework for the loss control and private security management. It was observed that the title of the bill highlighted managers, which referred to the regulation of players within the profession as opposed to management, which denotes regulation of conduct of profession itself. The Committee observed that a regulatory framework for private investigators and security guards does exist and is provided through the Private Investigators and Security Guards Control Act, Chapter 27.10, Section 2, Subsection 2 of the Act reads, the Minister may, by statutory instrument, designate an association of private investigators or security guards for the purposes of designated association in Subsection 1, and there is urgent need to amend the Private Investigators and Security Guards Act, Control Act, Chapter 27.10, in order to extend its scope and make robust and more relevant to the current trends in security system in both public and private domains. I'll move on to the recommendation, Mr. Speaker. Following from the above findings and observations, the committee recommends that the Institute of Chartered Laws Control and Private Security Managers Bill, HB 5/2022, be allowed to pass with amendments as outlined below. 1. The short title to read, an act to provide for the establishment of the Institute of Chartered Laws Control and Private Security Management, to provide for the establishment of a council, and to provide for matters connected with or incidental to the foregoing. And 2, a sub-clause be inserted under clause 9 to give effect to the creation of a quality review board cited in sub-clauses M and N of the same clause. And 3, a sub-clause be inserted in clause 17 to provide for what constitutes the disqualification of a member resulting in deregistration of that member based on the code of conduct. And 4, clause 21 of the bill, which should clearly say that the minister shall, through a special instrument, make regulations after consultation with the council. The Minister of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage should expedite the amendment of the Private Investigators and Security Guards Act, Control Act, Chapter 27.10, so as to address this occupation, which is now in need of being treated as a profession and join other professions like accountants, auditing, engineering, and engineering. Specifically, clauses should be incorporated to provide for the professional membership and regulatory needs of qualified professional loss control, private investigators, and private security practitioners, and broadening of its scope on the definition of security guards, so as to include legislation and regulation of other means of private security services provision, such as drone surveillance, cyber, biometric, and electronic security system other than human guards. Section 2, Subsection 2, which reads, the minister may, by statutory instrument, designate an association of private investigators or security guards for the purposes of designated association in Subsection 1, should be so defined as to provide a clear definition association, which should include professional associations. A. Structural similarities of the Amendment Act with respect to professional regulations may be borrowed from the Public Accounts and Auditors Board Act, Chapter 27.12. And B. The amendments should also take into account the need to bring on the regulation of in-house loss control or proprietary security outfits in whatever name they may be referred to, and practitioners thereof. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, it is thus the Committee's understanding that private law-specifically services are the interests of those affected by it, and not necessarily the generality of the population or any other group with contrary interests. It follows, therefore, that the Institute of Child and Loss Control and Private Security Managers Bill, HB 5 of 2022, is a private law whose primary objective is to self-regulate the practice of loss control and private security management to ensure the integrity of the quality of service offered by registered members. In that respect, the committee recommends that the Institute of Child and Loss Control and Private Security Managers Bill, HB 5 2022, be allowed to pass. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Is there any further debate? No debate. I put the question that Honorable Mayor, can you move for the second reading?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I would like to thank the committee for its concise and up-to-point report, and specifically for capturing all the aspects of the bill. I noted from the report, Mr. Speaker, sir, that there were concerns about the establishment of an institute which may become a training institution. Mr. Speaker said, a professional institute is not necessarily a training institution, but purely it is a professional body as per the term. The responsibility of, or the mandate of a professional body is to regulate the conduct of its members so that they operate and conduct themselves within the confines of the profession. It is the mandate of the professional body to put in place parameters within which professionals should act. Namely, that there must be standards in such a manner that whoever joins that profession is restricted to observe the ethics of the profession, and that whoever conducts an assignment anywhere, any other independent professional within that profession can come and follow the same procedure and come up with the same result. I'll give you the example of the medical profession. Medicine is a profession. There are procedures that are followed when a doctor is operating a patient. And those procedures will result in a patient being treated. If ever there is any doubt as to how the operation was conducted, that is, in cases where perhaps the operation is not successful, any other medical professional would come and examine the procedures that were done in discharging that operation. And from that, it can be certified whether the procedure was done correctly or not. This is similar to the aspirations of the security management and loss control profession. We are saying, in this instance, if somebody goes to Reserve Bank and design a security system for that organization, that can be validated by another independent professional who come and examine the procedures and the processes that were followed.
in order to pass or certify that system. Currently, there are no such guidelines. We have members or practitioners who design systems in organizations, and those systems are not certifiable because we have no professional body that sets standards. This is what the bill seeks to achieve. The training issue comes in when the interests of the profession are supposed to be captured by training institutions. For example, we now have University of Zimbabwe offering a certificate in security management. That's an academic course. We have Bindura offering a degree in security management. That's an academic degree. NASP, the same. All that came up as a result of the realization that security management is now practiced at a higher level of knowledge, both technically and physically. And from that perspective, those people now seek to be professionals. And now it is the responsibility of the profession now, who are members in the field, to feed back to the institution and guide them on areas that they should train practitioners. That is the only area where a professional body comes into the training domain. Training institutions are also registered by the Ministry of Higher and Tertiary Education. And the law under that ministry, they govern how training is delivered and offered. But this act is not to be administered under Ministry of Education as a regulation for training purposes, but as a professional law for regulating the practice of members. Therefore, the fear that the Institute will partake in training is not actually it's not available. Mr. Speaker said, I have noted what the committee has come up with and what they captured from the presentations that were made. Most of them, they are relevant and they need to be addressed. The committee has recommended that the bill be passed with amendments. This is a welcome move, Mr. Speaker said. And the amendments, some of the amendments which they highlighted are already appended on the order paper, and they will be addressed accordingly. Mr. Speaker said, I want to thank you as well, members who debated in the initial motion, and I'm happy that the aspirations of the practitioners in the loss control and private security management will be realized by the adoption of the bill. With that, Mr. Speaker said, I therefore move that the bill be adopted. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for the correction, Mr. Speaker said. I therefore move that the bill be read for the second time.
Thank you very much. I put it to motion that the Institute of Loss Control and the Private Security Managers Bill, HB 5/2022, be now read a second time. Those who have that opinion will say aye. Those who have that opinion will say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it. The motion is accordingly upheld, and that the clerk will read the bill a second time.
Institute of Loss Control and Private Security Managers Bill, HB 5/2022.
What gave for committee?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Tuesday, the 8th of November, Mr. Speaker.
Your microphone.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the House to now attend.
Second.
I second it.
Q. It has been moved that the House do not during the debate. I put the question that the House do not adjourn. Those who have that opinion will say aye. Aye. Those who have that opinion will say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The question is according to the failed and the House is adjourned. To what day?
2020 November.
Thank you.